Auschwitz. Barbed wire, the shrill of sirens, chaos, barracks, shouting, smoke. The very center of hell in the 20th century. A war within a war, a nightmare within a nightmare. Human reason reaches its limits when trying to explain the inhumanity of such suffering. Could a love story blossom like a flower amid the ashes of destruction? Between walls not built by prejudice, but by death itself? Unbelievable yet true. This happened between two souls who found themselves on opposite sides of the war machine. Both strong and vulnerable, they found spiritual solace and moral strength in each other. The impossible and the unacceptable, for both victims and oppressors, became reality. A love affair between a Jewish girl and a German SS officer. Helena Citronova was a young Jewish woman from Slovakia, betrayed by her own government, and deported to the hellhole known as Auschwitz. As a girl, she was flamboyant, fun-loving, and artistic. Here, her passion for life was reduced to mere survival. She was forced to work a dangerous job, demolishing the walls of an unwanted building. She witnessed other girls being killed doing the same job. She was forced to endure inhumane conditions. She saw with her own eyes the brutal murder of her friends in the camp. By sheer luck, she survived the first days after her arrival. Her fellow prisoners knew her by her voice, so hauntingly beautiful that it cut through despair. When one German officer threw a party for his birthday, she was asked to sing for him. With shining tears in her eyes, she sang a song. Liebe war es nie, denn du hast leider doch kein Herz. The words were soaked in pain and deeply touched one man, a young German officer, Franz Wunsch. He was barely 20 but already hardened by war. He was deeply moved by her presence and her singing. Her unbroken spirit, self-worth, and desire to live left a deep impression on him. He even asked her politely to sing once more. From then on, a love affair began. One that granted her kindness unimaginable in such a place. Love notes, cookies, blankets, and his personal protection. Franz Wunsch's selfless and sacrificial attitude became her chance to survive and to save others. Helena left him notes with the names of those sentenced to death, pleading for their lives. He would say, "For you, Helena, anything." And most often, he would save them. Their love became an open secret, yet it was still a deadly risk. For an SS officer, a relationship with a Jewish prisoner meant execution. For Helena, such privileges, blankets, and personal protection from a high-ranking German officer provoked the hatred of other inmates. As they admitted after the war, they were all very jealous that she had such a chance while they were led like sheep to the slaughter. But who was this man who broke so many Nazi taboos? Who stopped caring about racial laws? Who betrayed the beliefs of his comrades and put a Jewish girl with nothing above all else in his priorities? He volunteered for the SS as a boy. He had experience on both the Eastern and Western fronts. At 20, he was already the chief of Canada, the section of Auschwitz where stolen belongings were sorted. Can a person who has seen so much cruelty and participated in so many injustices still be touched by love? Some said he became less brutal after falling in love. Others claimed he was still capable of cold-blooded murder. What is certain is that he risked his life for Helena. When she fell ill with typhus, his panic was evident. Even his diaries reflect this. He separated her from the others, put her in better conditions, gave her his own food rations and medicine, and she managed to survive. When, in despair, she threw herself at the feet of the camp guards, begging for a quick death, an inmate who knew about the relationship called Franz. He put on an act, told 1,000 lies, and finally managed to save her. She cried for her sister, Rosinka, and her children, who were taken toward the gas chambers. He intervened minutes before her sister was to be murdered and took her out. Her children, unfortunately, perished. Helena admitted that she had feelings for him, especially after he saved her sister. Franz's diary says they kissed long before they said their final goodbye, as the camp disintegrated and the Red Army drew near. She asked that he keep the memory of her, and he did. He saved a photo of her from Auschwitz and cherished it his whole life. He even had a medallion with both a photo of himself as an SS officer and one of her as an inmate. He gave this medallion to his daughter as a gift on her birthday, telling her that Helena was the love of his life. Many reported that he acted less brutally after falling in love, although some testimonies also claimed he cold-bloodedly murdered a Greek prisoner. One thing is certain: he treated Helena with kindness, which ignited burning envy in the hearts of other inmates, not only because of the material gifts. They saw the uplifting power and hope that love gives in the most critical situations. Helena reported after the war that the offenses from other inmates were worse than a knife through her brain, yet still, she never complained to him. He wanted her to name those who insulted her, but she never did. She knew they wouldn't live much longer if she did. Although this love did not result in children, it saved the lives of many inmates who were spared at Helena's request. After the war, Franz managed to find her through the Red Cross and sent her many letters. He even offered for her to stay with him in his mother's house and invited her sister Rosinka as well. She did not answer any of his letters. Finally, a family member wrote him a bitter letter, pointing out that he shared guilt for the death of Rosinka's children. Wunsch finally gave up on Helena and started a family of his own in Vienna. He worked as a traveling salesman and had one daughter. This story raises profound psychological and philosophical questions. What is the true power of love? Can it compel even the worst of men to choose humanity over cruelty? Franz Wunsch was brought to court in 1972, facing horrific charges of murder and cruelty, but was exonerated thanks to Helena. By then, she was married with 2 children, yet she flew to Austria to testify on his behalf. She stated that she had no feelings for him anymore, but she needed to tell the truth. She spoke of both the good and the bad, but to his disappointment, she never looked at him. This love story goes beyond the fate of 2 people. It is a testament to love's power to defy cruelty, to give strength where there is none, to keep hope alive. Even in the darkest night, love can blossom, can return humanity to the perpetrator and faith to the victim. Love can restore balance amid chaos. It can tear down the walls of death and let through the bright sunshine of a new beginning. This story will haunt the minds of generations to come because, in the end, we all want to believe that love can conquer death.